Right, this is a video I've been debating about doing for a while now. I just feel like people need to have more understanding, really. I don't know if you can tell I'm having a bad day today. This is the reality, mate, of mental health. I have borderline personality disorder or emotionally unstable disorder, depression, anxiety, mild OCD, an eating disorder, generalised eating disorder, and I've had my run-in with addiction issues as well. For me today, I woke up, I was fine, I was positive, I was motivated, everything was great, I was going to have a great day. Got ready, walked to my mum's, fed the dog because she's in work. Come back, I spoke to my friends, I spoke to family, I've had my music on, I've been in a really good headspace. And then I struggled to do one thing, and it made me feel like a failure. And that was it, triggered. So for me, that one thing has made me feel worthless. It has made me feel useless. It has made me think of everything in my life that has gone wrong. It has made me think of what I'm struggling with at the moment. It has made me think, oh, no wonder those people left, or no wonder you can't make friends, no wonder no one sticks around. All because I couldn't do this one tiny little thing. Even though this one thing has no relevance to any of that. And I want people to understand how it feels to be so sensitive to everything in this world, to have to constantly check yourself, how you interact with people, how you're feeling that day, the thought processes you're having, every tiny thing. People don't realise, man. They don't realise the strain and the pressure that it takes to deal with mental health. I mean, even people with mental health will still sit here and judge and question, oh, why do you feel like that today? You've got no reason to feel like that today. Well, no, maybe, do you know what, I don't. Maybe I just do. Maybe that one thing has just triggered all of this crap. Maybe I can't be okay all the time, and that is okay. It's okay not to be okay. Well, that's what everyone says. But everyone always expects you to be okay. And this is the reality. We are not always okay. Sometimes we want to feel safe from ourselves. Sometimes we need protection and security from ourselves. And on a day for me like today, when I'm on my own and I have no distraction and all my friends are busy, they're all working, and for me right now, that's bad. That's dangerous. And don't hate us when we take that out on you. Don't hate us when we sit here and we blame you for being busy. Just breeze over that. Look at the underneath. It's just because we're scared. Ultimately, it's because we're scared. We're scared of our own heads. We're scared of our own emotions and our own thought processes. We're worried about where that's going to lead. We're worried about how you're even going to perceive us. And just everything, mate, honestly. It's hard to explain. But I just want people to realise that I might, not on my Facebook and my Snapchat, apart from the ones today, everything's been positive. You would not think that I've spent the last hour and a half sat on my living room floor in a ball crying. You wouldn't have thought when I walked to my mum's house this morning that this is what I would be dealing with today. So sometimes we need you to be a little bit more sensitive. Sometimes we need you to not understand, but just be there, because you can't always understand. You can't always understand this. Like, my best friend is trying right now. She's trying so hard to make me feel better, and that makes me feel worse because she can't. And then I sit here and I tell myself, what are you doing? Look at these people, they care. Why do you think they don't? What have they given you to show that they don't? But everything in my mind will tell me that you don't. That one phone call you didn't answer, that one text you didn't reply to, that one time you had to cancel, will all come into my head and tell me you don't care. I know I've flitted about a bit. I haven't really made much sense in this, to be honest. But for me, this is my reality. This is what I fight all day, every day, to keep in check. I have to spend every minute checking myself. I wake up in the morning and I don't just get up, I don't just get out of bed, I don't just get up, get out of bed, make my cup of tea and feel good. I don't just start my day. I have to sit in my bed and give myself a whole pep talk on how we are going to handle things today, how we are not going to let things get to us today. And even still, that doesn't work every day. So I've done it this morning and look at me. It doesn't always work. It doesn't always work to just be positive. It doesn't always work to just think, you know, you can get through this, you're strong, look at what you've got through before, this is nothing. It doesn't always work. Because right now doing this video is saving my life. Even though I have no reason to feel that way. Do you know how many people that you probably know sit at home like this? Every day, every other day. At some point in their week, they sit at home like this, whether that be when their children are in bed, whether that be when their partners have gone out. I mean, but I don't know. You just don't know. And that is my point. You just don't know. I think it's time people did. I think it's time people knew. I think it's time people started opening their minds and understanding instead of hating and judging and putting everyone down all the time. Mental health is not something to be ashamed about. It is not a problem. It is not. It's bad, yes, but it's not something that you think should make you bad. You are not a bad person because you have issues. You are not a bad person because you have mental health. I'll tell you what, that is something I've been made out to be my whole life. From various, social people, from family members, friends, people that don't know me, people that don't like me, people I've trusted with every part of me. I mean, people that have been here and know how I am. They know what I'm like. They've experienced all of this. They know I'm not a bad person. They know sometimes I just struggle, still sit there and use it against me. They still turn around. They say I'm psychotic. They say I'm this, that and the other. All because I feel things more than you do. I walk around and it's literally like 24/7 sensory overload, right? So imagine what it's like when I actually get sensory overload. Not that's going to mean anything to you guys. Sensory overload is where, people with autism get it, mental health. It ranges over everything. I mean, even people that don't have mental health, which, by the way, doesn't actually exist, get sensory overload is where, if you're in a loud room and all of a sudden it sounds like everyone's in your ears and you want to shout, shut up. That's sensory overload. When when for some reason one day your body might be hurting a little bit more than usual, like, I don't know, maybe you've done a really hard workout the day before. Yes, it is because of that workout the day before, but it is also a form of sensory overload. Your muscles and your nerve endings, your body is more sensitive than it normally is. It's a sensory overload. Like, I have that with my emotions, except it will also delve into the physical aspect of things, the mental aspect of things. When I'm having a bad day, I can't deal with, for example, I can't deal with chaos. Like, I can't have two people at my house at the same time. So I can't have my mum and my nan here together because it's too much. Like, that might not seem like it to you guys, but that's too much. There's too many people I have to pay attention to. It's too much conversation that has to be had. It's too much thought process that needs to be done for me to even be able to socialise and communicate with those two people. And for me to be able to have them around me I have to do a lot of work just for that. And it's a constant battle because you want to be on your own, but you don't. You're petrified of being on your own, but it's all you want to be. And it's a hard fight. It's a hard fight to sit here and battle against yourself 24/7. It's exhausting, and it's. Do you know what? For those of us that fight through it, you are the strongest person on this planet, man. Go you. Like, go me right now. I might be crying, and my emotions might be taking over, but I'm still here, and I'm still fighting, and I'm still going to be here tomorrow fighting, and I'm not giving up. Every ounce of my being is telling me to give up, but I'm not going to, because I don't want to. Realistically, deep down, I don't want to. I don't want to give up. I don't want to lose this fight. I've put too much into it now. I've been doing this since year 6. I had my first mental and emotional breakdown in year 6. It was because I was being bullied and I'd had enough, and a classmate of mine had actually got a mouldy banana out of a bin and put it in my classwork tray. I mean, this is junior school. How kids at that age can be so vicious, I don't know, but started aggressing. And I went to get my work out of my drawer. I remember it clear as day. For someone who doesn't remember a lot of my life, there are specific parts I do remember vividly. Most of them are negative. But this is one of them. For example, I went to go in my tray to get my can of Coke that we had drawn for art. I think it was the day before. And there it was. And the whole class stood there laughing at me, pointing at me and mocking me, saying how disgusting I was for having this banana in my tray that had been put there by someone else just to watch me get humiliated in front of a class full of people. And that was it. I snapped and I screamed and I smashed up my classroom and I ran out of the room and I smashed up the library and I screamed and I cried and I broke, and they had to call my mum and I was removed out of school. I lost my lead role in the school play. My first ever lead role. I'd auditioned every year to get into it. I lost my place in my choir. I lost my student badges. I was the librarian. I lost that. I was the head of my sports day class. I lost that. Everything I'd worked for, even in junior school, I lost because I was bullied and I had a breakdown. And since that day, I've been fighting. I didn't realise I was fighting before that. I've been fighting my whole life, really, but I didn't realise the strain I was under. I didn't realise that for a 10-year-old girl, I was actually going through depression. I was going through anxiety. I already had my eating disorder. I'd had my eating disorder from the time I was 4, so that we already knew about, but the rest of it we had no idea until that day. Everyone just thought I was an overly emotional child. I've always been overly caring, overly protective, overly loving. Any emotion you can think of, I take it to extreme, and I can't help that. It just happens. I'll do my best to check it and control it and stop it happening. It doesn't always work. And I tell you what, it's the most infuriating thing, especially when it comes to relationships and friendships, because you push everyone away because they can't handle how intense you are, and then you go through this whole cycle again of hating yourself because you've done it again. Well done, Kaylee. You're too much. And that's all it's been for me. Just constant fighting. And it never ends. And the only time I get a break is when I have a breakdown. And I'm not even getting a break then because I'm fighting to stay alive. I'm fighting every demon in me. People just need to wake up and see words hurt, actions hurt. Fuck, hell, even body language hurts, man. If I'm sat here telling you or trying to talk to you about stuff that really affects me and you're just sat there and I can tell you don't give a fuck, that hurts. Because that just says you don't care about me. Everything. I read into everything. Every possible thing, every text, every message, every phone call, every phrase, every conversation, every look, every touch. I read into everything. I've always been that way. I mean, I can't speak for every mental health disorder. I can't speak for everyone that has mental health because I don't know what it's like to experience every mental health condition that there is. I only know what the experience is like with mine. But I just want everyone to know that you're not alone. We all go through it. I'm sat here going through it right now. I'm sat here having another bad day. And yet again, it's on the only days that I get free to have good days. Every day is full of stress, every day is full of hard work, every day is full of battles. But it can be done. It can be done, you can survive, and you can be happy. I'm not doing this video to say, oh, every day is miserable, every day is stressful, you know, we're never happy, because we are happy. We do have happy days, and 9 times out of 10, it's because of you guys. It's because of our family, and our friends, and our children, and the people we interact with. But 9 times out of 10, we also have our bad days because of you lot. Not because it's always directly your fault. You might not even realise you've done anything. Like my best mate, I actually blocked her the other day for no reason because she was busy at work and I felt she didn't have the time for me. So I blocked her number. I blocked her on social media and I had nothing to do with her for a day. And that wasn't fair, because she was having her own troubles too. She was having her own struggles too, but I'd done it anyway, because in my mind, she wasn't there enough for me. And the annoying thing is sometimes it makes you selfish. Like then, that was selfish of me. She needed me too. So I should have been there. I should have helped her. We should have helped each other. But sometimes you can't see logic, you can't see reason, you can't differentiate between what's right and what's wrong then. You can't. Concept isn't real. Rationale isn't real in that moment. When you're having those times, when you're having those bad times, none of that is there. You can't rationalise. You can't bring yourself down. Thinking positive doesn't work. Sorry, I'm going to use my towel to just, because it's going to keep going everywhere otherwise. Let's face it, I ain't going to stop crying anytime soon, am I? But I just want people to understand that not every day is as easy as just think positive and you'll be okay. Sometimes we need you to hold our hands. Sometimes we need you to pick us up off that floor. Sometimes we need you to cuddle us when we're pushing you away. Sometimes we need you to still say I love you when we're telling you we hate you. Yeah. It hurts, it's painful, it's hard. But it can be done. And that's what needs to be remembered, it can be done. Because this isn't me every day. This is me sometimes. And I tell you what, when I'm on point, I'm the loveliest, funniest, most bubbliest, caring girl you'd ever meet. But on a day like this, I'm holding on by a thread. I'm holding on by a thread, mate. And I know you will probably think, oh, but you've got so much. You've got your friends and your family. You've got your kids. You've got a good life. What do you have to sit there and make you feel this way over? Well, the truth is nothing, mate. And that's the worst part, nothing. I have no reason to feel this way. I have no reason to be like this today. I have no reason to feel so unjustified. I have no reason to feel all this hate and this anger that I harbour inside every day. Really, I should look at what I have and appreciate it. Which I do appreciate what I have. But sometimes it's not enough. Sometimes it needs to come from within me, and I can't do that. I don't have that. I don't have that grounding inside me. I don't have that self-worth or that self-respect or that self-love on my bad days. My good days I do. My good days, I think I'm fantastic. I'm a good mum, I'm a good person, I'm a good friend, I'm a good daughter. You know, on a good day, yeah, self-love, like, all the way. Like, I scream it. Like, I scream positivity on my good days. This is the worst thing. I scream happiness. Like, it's so obvious I'm in a good mood. It's so obvious I'm positive. It literally radiates from me. But then when I have a bad day, I crumble hard. And it's like that whole facade just comes crumbling down, and all there is that 5-year-old girl that went through trauma and has never been the same since. That's it. Sometimes I just can't. Sometimes I just can't support myself. Sometimes I can't tell myself your kids need you. Sometimes I can't tell myself you're okay, you can do this. Sometimes I can't tell myself that it's okay not to be okay. Sometimes I can't drag myself back up. Sometimes I need you to help me. I don't know, I've spoke a lot about this in the first person. It's the easiest way for me to do it, really. I know I'm probably going to sit here for the next 20 minutes to hour and debate even posting this. So if this does actually get posted, massive props to me, because this is very personal. But it needs to be said, it needs to be looked at, it needs to be taken for the front value of what it is. This is reality, guys. This is it, right here. What you are looking at right now is the reality of someone on a bad day. Because I can guarantee you something, if I need to go to the shop later, none of you lot out there are going to know that this is what's happening in here today. You're not going to know, because I'm going to smile, I'm going to tell you I'm all good, and I'm going to tell you I hope you have a good day. You're not going to know that I've sat here for over an hour, hanging on to any shred of light that might peep in through my mind, any shred of hope, any shred of positivity. Because right now, everything I have, everyone I have, isn't enough to keep me here. Because I'm not here for me. I'm here for you. I'm here for my mum. I'm here for my nan. I'm here for my friends. I am here for my son, and I am here for my daughter. I'm here for all of their sakes, not for mine. Because the way I feel today, the way my thoughts are today, if I was to be selfish, I would be the ultimate level of selfish. And that's not fair on the children I have to raise. I know how it feels to be left like that. Thanks, Dad. And I will not do that to my children. I will not let them grow up and think, did my daddy or my mummy not love me enough? I'm not gonna let them grow up and think, was I too much? Was I the final trigger? Was I this or was I that? I'm not gonna let my kids grow up with the identity crisis that I've had. I have nothing to do with my dad's side of the family in any way, shape or form, really. But one person I speak to on the random. So I've spent the majority of my life only knowing half of who I am. And that in itself can cause problems. So I'm not doing that to them. God no. Only reason I'm still here, mate. For everyone else. And my family know it. I don't know if my friends fully know it, but my mum does. My mum knows. And she hates it. And I hate that. Because I know I'm doing that to her. I know that my mum sits there and watches her daughter in this pain and she can't do anything. I know my friends probably think they aren't good enough, and my family probably think they aren't good enough, because when I'm like this, nothing works. But what they need to understand is they are good enough. They are everything to me. They are everything I have. They are every reason I breathe. They are every reason I live. They are my world. They will never understand how important they are to me. And that's what people need to understand. For me. Especially, for someone with borderline personality disorder or emotionally unstable disorder, relationships and friendships, they are the be-all and end-all of their world. If I consider you a friend, you are the luckiest person on the planet, because I will die for you if I need to. I will do anything if I need to. I literally mean anything for them. No matter what it would do to me or my own life, it could destroy my life, and I will do it. It doesn't matter, because they're my friend and I love them and I care for them and I will do anything for them. It's just the way it is. And if you leave me, or we have a relationship breakdown, or we have a fight, it's the end of my world. They'll put me like this. That's what it does to me. It'll put me like this. It's a trigger, one of the biggest triggers I have. An ending of friendships or relationships. flips my world. It obliterates my world. It crushes my world. It sets it on fire. Anything, man, it does it. I can't handle losing people. But because of the way I am, all I do is lose people. Because I'm too much and I'm a problem. That's how it feels anyway. All the while they're telling you you're not the problem. You know you're the problem. You're not silly. You know they can no longer handle your outbursts. They can no longer handle how much you love them. Because sometimes it's suffocating. Sometimes I love someone so much they can't breathe. And then you're sat there like, why? Why are you leaving me? All I've done was love. I gave you everything you wanted. Like, I don't understand. What did I do wrong? But in actual fact, you take things too far. Because there's no rationale, and there's no logic, and there's no boundary. I've had that too many times. I've also had people leaving me because they can't handle my bad days. They can't handle my outbursts. It's not always just depression, it's anger as well. When the anger goes, get out of my way. I'm nothing special. But when the anger goes, it's dangerous, it's vicious. Like my mum says, I speak with venom when I'm angry. My mum says... My mum won't even come near me if I'm angry a lot of the time. She just avoids me because the way I walk, the way I hold myself, the way I'll make a drink, or the way I'll even drink the drink, the way I talk, everything screams anger. That's what I mean. I literally radiate whatever emotion I feel. You can feel it. But I am the master of facades. The master of faces, the master of masks, the master of lies, the master of acting. I could make you think I've just had the best day of my life, when in actual fact I could have been stood on a cliff edge telling myself not to, don't jump. Trying to convince myself not to jump that morning. But you would think I'd had the best day. All depends on the mood. All depends on the headset. And I never know what one I'm going to get each day. Because it changes every day. It changes throughout the day. It changes every evening. By lunchtime, I would have felt 4 to 5 different emotions to what I did when I woke up. I know that's normal to a point, but I don't just mean, I'm more tired than I was now, or this one thing's happened so I'm a little bit happier, or that one thing's irritated me slightly. I mean, I will be on top of the world to being in the dirt under every grave ever dug, to being the fires of hell with anger, to being the light of heaven, and being on top of the world again. Like I can do that in an hour, to be fair. Like I can do that so quick. As you can see, in the space of half an hour of this video, I've gone from crying to being okay to not being okay. Right now, I'm sort of detached. Can you tell? I've dissociated from my feelings a little bit, because if I don't, I won't get through the rest of today. I just want people to wake up, man. I just want people to understand the reality. Like, I've had to hit my best friend with the reality today and all, because I don't think she fully understood. I mean, she's seen me have panic attacks. She's seen me get angry. She's seen me cry. She's helped me with all sorts of states, But I think when you're on your own and they're not there, it's a bit different, because the states are always more intense. The states are always worse when someone's not there. Because you don't feel safe. And you're scared. That's what it all comes down to, really. You're scared. I'm scared of my own mind. I'm scared of being on my own. I'm scared of losing everything I've worked for. Losing everyone I have. I'm scared of my emotions. I'm scared of my thought processes. I'm scared of speaking to people in case they trigger me. I'm scared of making new friends in case they leave me, but I don't want to be lonely anymore. I'm scared of opening myself up to the world. I'm scared of getting out of bed. I'm scared of looking at my phone in the morning, just in case there's something on there that might trigger me. And that's what I'm saying. It is relentless. It never stops. It never stops. I don't get a 5-minute break where I just forget. Oh no, that's a lie, sorry. The only time I have is by the sea, and that's why I want to live by the coast. Because for some reason the sea just literally washes it all away. It's almost like the sea air and the waves literally almost lift me out of my own being for a minute, and just it clarifies, it tidies, it's peace, it's tranquility, it's everything. I think it's because the sea is very much like my own mind. It is beautiful and it is full of so many wonders, and it's so vast and so wide, and there's so much about it we don't know, but it's so dangerous and it's so relentless and it is so unforgiving. And I think that's why I like it so much. It reminds me of myself. But it's a purer form. It's a more innocent form. It's not done anything wrong by choice. It's done what it's needed to survive. And unfortunately, I'm not a perfect person. I've done a lot wrong in my life. I've hurt a lot of people. And I think it just helps me run away from everything bad I've done. I don't know what it is, but the sea is a win for me. It's like the ultimate tranquilizer, but unfortunately I can't carry around a beach. So that's why I want to live by the coast. And if I could scoop all my friends up and all my family and get a little plot of land by the beach and build us all houses on it, that'd be perfect. But I want all of you now, if you're still watching this, I know it's a long video, it's 38 minutes. I want everyone now to just message that friend. Not just that friend, but the other friend that you might think has nothing wrong. Fuck it, message all of them. Message all your friends, all your family. I don't care, just message someone and make sure they're okay. Make sure they feel loved. And make sure they feel safe. And I want you to, next time, just think, when you see someone, even if you hear something about someone, because I'm sure a lot of you have heard enough about me, just ignore it, man. It's nothing to do with you, innit? Ignore it. And if you want to know that bad, get hold of the person themselves and speak to them. But don't be degrading, don't be rude, don't be condescending, and don't be judgmental, man. That is what it all comes down to. Everyone in this world is so judgmental. The hate that we harbour on each other is insane. Why do we want to put each other down so much? Like, it hurts, man. Just thinking about it upsets me. Why do we want to hate on each other so much? Why do we want to push each other down so much? Think of what this world could be if we built each other up, man. Think of how great everyone could be, how far we could have developed in this society if we all just shared love and positivity. Even if you don't like what someone has done or what they are doing, stay out of it. It is nothing to do with you. It's nothing to do with you. Your judgment might be the final straw for them on a mistake they know is a bad mistake. Because I've been given hell for stuff I know I've done wrong. And no one will hate myself for that decision more than me. No one will be harder on myself more than me. And for someone else to then come in and add on to that hate, like, my hate alone is enough. Believe me, there is nothing stronger than the hate I have for myself. Your hate isn't needed. Your judgment isn't needed. If anything, say to someone, I know that's not really you. It's a stupid thing to do. It's a bad thing to do. But I know that's not you. And it's okay to make mistakes. What you've done isn't okay, but it's okay to make mistakes as long as you learn from it. As long as you take note and you don't ever do it again. If they make the same mistake again and again and again and again, then say to them, you're being stupid, mate. Sort it out. And if they're that much of a toxic or nasty person, why are you even associating with them? But I bet if that person was built up, they wouldn't be so toxic. They wouldn't be so nasty. There's an undertone to everything on this planet. There's always a reason for everything. Just because you might not have the reason doesn't mean there isn't one. Just because you might not know it, you might not understand, doesn't mean there isn't a reason. Like, that's how I live my life. Everything happens for a reason. I don't believe in God. I believe in a higher power. I believe in karma. I believe in a natural order. I believe everything happens for a reason. Massively everything happens for a reason. I think maybe today I had a breakdown so I would do this video. I've been putting it off for months, even though it's something I really wanted to do. And you know what the thing is the worst thing is, I'm probably going to get hate, and I'm probably going to get judgment for this video, and I'm probably going to regret ever doing it. I'm probably going to regret ever posting it. But this is going to help someone out there somewhere. Even if I don't know about it, I hope it's going to help someone. I just want everyone to be okay. I just want everyone to love themselves and each other and know it's okay not to be okay. We all have these days. You can do this. You can fight. You can make it. You can do everything you wanted to do. You can be everything you wanted to be. Currently don't know who I'm trying to convince more right now, you guys or myself. Maybe a bit of both. But at the end of the day, you are loved, you are cherished, You are wanted. And you are needed. By someone, somewhere, you are needed. And loved. I can keep saying it. You are loved. You are loved. Because you are. You might not feel it, you might not think it, you might not see it. But I'm sure my friends probably love me more than I think they do. Without that sounding big-headed, but in my mind, my friends could piss off tomorrow and never even think about me again. In my mind, I am nothing to anyone. In my mind, I don't make an impact. I don't have any kind of importance to anyone enough that it would actually make a difference if I was to disappear. So yeah, just stay positive, man. I say that on a day that I'm really, really not feeling positive, but I'm trying. And that's it. That is what's important. Not the fact I'm having a bad day. Not the fact I've spent most of today crying. What is important is that I'm trying. And I'm pushing. And I'm fighting. And I will not let these demons ruin me. Because I know I'm gonna have another good day. For all of these tears falling from my eyes today, for each and every one, I will have a good day. And that's what I hold on to. I hold on to the fact that I will smile again. I hold on to the fact that I will laugh again. I hold on to the fact that my babies are going to come crashing in tomorrow and they're going to cuddle me and they're going to cause chaos. But it will feel like home again here. Because it doesn't feel like home right now. Because I'm on my own. It just feels like an empty shell. I feel like an empty shell. But I'm holding on. And I'm fighting. And I'm still going. It's nearly an hour long video. I don't think I'm going to be able to post it. But yeah. Just love one another, man. Self-love. Self-love and love for each other. Appreciation. No judgment. That's it, love. It's all that needs to be shared is love. I mean, maybe do some research too, actually. Get some know-how, get some knowledge. Knowledge is power, everybody. Knowledge is power, and I tell you what, if you've done the tiniest bit of research, everyone thinks they know depression, everyone thinks they know anxiety, because let's face it, the two that are most talked about is depression and anxiety. Everyone thinks they know about it. They don't. They actually haven't got a clue. No one has a goddamn clue. No one actually understands. They say they do, and they say, yeah, I know what depression's like. Oh, I went through depression at this point. But it's almost like they forget what it's actually like to be in depression. They forget what it's like to literally drag yourself out of bed. They forget what it's like to answer that phone call, to see that person, go to that appointment or go to work or do that school run or even bloody make breakfast or a cup of tea, to put them socks on, to go to the toilet. all of that's hard when you're depressed, and people need to stop thinking it's such an easy thing to pull yourself out from, because it's not. But if you research and, you know, you actually empower yourself for the sake of like either your own mental state and your own mental health, or those around you, those that suffer with it, that you know, like, honestly, researching will open your mind. Do you know how many people I've spoken to throughout the years, just like either in passing or as friends, because I've been to all sorts of groups and stuff, is what I mean by passing, about mental health. And for example, say two people with two different disorders, like before I've spoke to someone and they had lots and lots of disorders, like, I mean, a long list, like, long list. I mean, there was schizoaffective disorder in there was schizophrenia, there was personality disorder, there was bipolar, there was depression, anxiety, OCD, addiction issues, like, there was all of these disorders. You look at the guy, you'd have no idea, right? He's a lovely guy. It wasn't until you got to know him that you could notice it all, and you could see that he had a drinking problem, and that he was a very tortured soul. He was a very hurt person. He had a lot of hurt inside him. You wouldn't have thought it at all when you first meet him, and it wasn't until he went home and read about my disorder, and I went back and read about his issues, that I realised all of these names that sound so traumatising and petrifying are not as bad as they seem. They are to live with. That's what I want to get across. They are to live with. To live with it is hell on earth. But to you guys on the outside, it's harmless. Unless you do something to trigger it, it's harmless. Honestly, even schizophrenia people, yes, that you all seem so petrified of. Schizophrenia, there's a few of them actually that everyone seems to be so scared of, like personality disorders. So you've got schizophrenia, borderline personality disorder, bipolar, schizoaffective disorder. Like, all of these disorders that people seem to think make you so off your head that you couldn't function or you couldn't have friends because you hear voices and you have like 700 personalities and you're this, that and the other. Like, and can I just specify, multiple personality disorder and borderline personality disorder and bipolar are all three completely different things. BPD isn't like split personalities, by the way. It's not. Google, research, that's what I'm saying. It's all about the research. If you research and you try and understand and you try and learn, then, you know, then you can open your world up to so much, because all of these disorders are not as scary as they sound for you guys. They're not as detrimental to your lives as you would think. Because I tell you what, the people that I've met with things like schizophrenia and BPD and bipolar and multiple personality disorder is the one where you actually have multiple personalities, by the way. Actually, some of the loveliest people I've ever met in my life. Some of the most kind-hearted, generous, loving, affectionate, sensitive people I've ever met in my life. And do you know what? They have more respect for society than people who don't have these disorders. And the worst thing is they are the ones hated and given more disrespect from society than what they give, just because they have a problem. You would see an autistic person have a meltdown, here they have autism, and then hate on them even more for that. You wouldn't be like see them have a meltdown, find out they're autistic, and be like, oh well, do you know what I mean? Like, why do that with mental health? Why see someone with schizophrenia or BPD, for example, have a blackout with their rage or with their hallucinations and delusions, and then find out they have schizophrenia and be like, oh, you're insane, I need to stay away from you. In fact, say, I'm here for you. It's okay. I don't understand, but you're not on your own. I'm here. Like you would for that person with autism. Because when you hear about that person with autism, you think, oh, it's not their fault. They can't help it. It's the same with mental health, mate. My BPD, borderline personality disorder, is caused through traumatic life events, and is also being cut. There's not a lot of research in it, but there is a genetic predisposition for it, and it gets triggered by traumatic life events. So please don't just think it comes out of nowhere, because mental health doesn't come out of nowhere. It comes when your brain cannot take anymore and it snaps. That's where mental health comes from. No one gives themselves mental health. No one is, I do think you're born with genetics. You're born with its DNA. You're born with its, like, coding, per se, should we say. You're born with it in your system. You're not born suffering with it, but it is born in your system. And something has to trigger it. Something has to set it off. It's not just gonna... You're not just gonna come out and be a depressed baby or a schizophrenic baby. You're gonna come out and you're gonna experience something in your life, no matter how big or small that event might be. But that event was too much for your brain, and your brain said, no more. And that was it. Like, for me, I don't remember my life, really. I don't remember a lot of it because my brain has wiped it from memory, because it is too traumatic to remember. It's too traumatic to think about, and that's what I struggle with, learning my triggers. I'm learning my triggers. I'm trying to find out why I am the way I am, why I know a lot of stuff that has happened. I know things, but when people won't talk to you about your life because it's too traumatic to talk about, it's hard to work out why you are the way you are when you don't know what happened. And now this is my point, like, everyone with mental health has this. No one actually knows why they are the way they are. They just are that way. And they need your help to guide them, not to hate on them and push them down more. Research, empower yourself, educate yourself, learn about what's wrong with them, learn techniques to help them. Like, even ask that person, pardon me, say, how do you need me to communicate with you when you're in this mindset? Or what do you need me to do? Do you even need me to do anything? Because sometimes my mum will come round and she'll just sit here. I won't talk to her, I won't really interact with her, I won't socialise, but I just need her here. Just in case I need a cuddle, or just in case I want to talk. And she'll just sit there on her phone, and she'll just mosey around or whatever, and we'll have brief, like, fleeting conversation every now and then. But sometimes I just need her here. Sometimes I will call her up and I'll go, we'll be on the phone for half an hour, and in actual fact the only part of that whole phone call will be 5 minutes of conversation, because the other 25 minutes is me ranting down the phone at her, because my need to offload what's going on in my head. Sometimes I need her advice. Sometimes I say to my mum, look, what do I do? I don't know. Is this me being irrational again? Or is this logical? Is it like, what's going on here? I need your help. How do I deal with this situation? And that's fine. And sometimes we do all of those. sometimes, like my mum, when my mum finally started to understand the way I was and how to deal with me. Bear in mind, I had to actually move out before that even happened, because things were just chaos with me and my mum, because we constantly clashed because she didn't understand. It wasn't until she started researching and learning and educating and taking that time to think, no, okay, this is going to take more than me just asking or shouting or battling back. I need to learn here. Like when she took that step, things started changing. She come to me and she said, right, when I had a bad day, my first bad day with her new steps that she learned, she come to me and she goes, right, do you want to talk? Do you want me to listen? Or do you just want to hug it out and say nothing? They were her 3 steps every time. We'll talk, I'll advise, or we'll hug it out and say nothing. They were it. Most of the time, I was always backwards. We'd talk it out, I'd rant, and then she'd advise. Because I always needed to get over that first initial intense emotion before I could open up. Because if I opened up before I'd got over that, I probably would have blown my top more than I ever had, more than I have in my life. I mean, I've blown my top a few times. But it is all about learning and educating, and if you really do care about that person and you want your relationship to blossom and flourish even more, I mean, you could have the best relationship with that person, but the more you begin to understand and the more you try and engage in ways of supporting them, the more your relationship will get better, the less friction there will be, the easier it will be for you to not resent them. Because I know a lot of family and a lot of friends hold resentment to those with mental health that they know or are related to or are close to, because it's almost like we get special treatment. But it's not, because when you have your bad days too, I will do that for you. It's vice versa. Two-way street, mate. Two-way street. So if you're the one with mental health watching this, maybe you could teach instead of just expect. Maybe you could say to them, you know, here's, if I do this today, or if I do this at some point, it's because I feel this way. Like, educate, show them. And those with mental health, make sure you tell your family and your friends how much you appreciate them and how important they are to you. Because sometimes you might not realise it, but we can't always get that across. Sometimes we don't do a very good job at letting them know how much we love them and appreciate everything that they do, especially when it comes to putting up with us. But my mental health doesn't make me a bad person. It makes me a fragile one, not a bad one. And that's what people need to remember. We are not bad people. We are just fragile, and with your help we can get stronger. With your help we can start to not get rid of the cracks, but seal them. The cracks are always going to be there, but we can seal it. We can seal the hole. We can fill it and we can move on. But everyone needs someone. You can't always do everything on your own. So if you're isolating yourself, don't. Reach out. Please. Please. I beg you. And if you've not heard from a friend in a while, reach out. I say while, I mean like a couple of days, or I mean even if it has been a while, reach out. If you have a difficult relationship with friction in it, whether that be with a friend, a loved one, or a partner, because you don't understand their cycles, you don't understand their patterns, you don't understand why they're having a meltdown because they dropped a chip on the floor or whatever. You don't understand what's going on. Educate yourself, please. You'll notice the difference, because when we notice the difference, you'll notice the difference, because we think you care more, and we will sense that you're making the effort, because we are already trying everything we can not to let our mental health affect you. We're already doing everything we can to keep our mental health and our relationships and friendships and whatever else separate. We're already doing that. It might not seem like it because it might be failing miserably, but we are already trying. Like the mood I'm in, my curtains are even shut. That's because that's where I'm at today. I just, love and positivity, people. The less judgment we have, the more love we have. That's what's important. That's what's needed in this world. Love, acceptance, kindness, and for it to be judgment-free. Just appreciate each other, man. We are all important, every single one of us. And we all need love. We all need understanding, and we all need acceptance. Not from everyone. We don't need understanding and acceptance from everyone. That needs to be understood. It doesn't mean from everyone. But from those we hold important, love, understanding and acceptance. Love, understanding and acceptance. People need to repeat that. The 3 things you need to give out to people. Maybe you should try and do that every day. Give out. Like, do something loving. Do something accepting. Like, do something understanding. Every day for someone. Please. Because you might save that person's life. You never know. And if you're suffering today, like me, just hold on. Because you got this. You got this.